Alright, so this is a tutorial, a building tutorial. So, someone has told me to make a tutorial regarding how I managed to make, let me show you. How I managed to make this part of my level that has this sand kind of like blowing into the player's face. So I will show you how to do that. So these four blocks right here. The big one, the small one, the even smaller one, and then the tiny one. These, what these do, they just spin at random, okay? So what I like to do, I like to only get one and put it for custom. So all you have to do in order to put on a custom item is just turn on select filter. That'll make it to where if you place down anything, whatever you set to your custom, it will only pick up that item or delete that item. And if you turn on none, it'll just go back to normal. So I turn on my custom, I get this block, and I begin to just kind of place them at random. No real reason or pattern that I'm trying to do. And to make it a little easier, I turn on a little swipe, so getting a few lines, since they're all going to be spinning at random, it won't matter. A fair warning, the more you use, obviously the laggier your device will be, so if you're playing on a more slower device, then it's best just to kind of slow it down, or you can just add a low detail mode option. But yeah, all you do is create a few lines, get more of the empty spots. Alright, then you can move on to the next one. And the smaller they get, the more that they're not going to rotate as far. So the smaller ones you can kind of put a little bit closer, or a little bit more of. Since they're not going to be all over the place rotating, they're kind of only stay in a 2-block radius. Alright, right here, since these are the tiniest ones, I can just kind of fill up all the empty spots. And there you go. Alright. 675, I like to put them on link controls, so I don't have to always zoom out and then collect all of them. I can just pick up one. And also the hitbox of these are weird, so like I'm clicking right here like a maniac, I can't collect anything. It's a weird hitbox. So anyways, let's say I want to make a black one. So I can do this, put it on T3, whatever Z order, don't fade, don't enter if you feel like it. That just makes it to where it won't transition on both of the screens, on both sides of the screen. And so then I kind of just do a quick measurement of 5, 10, 15, 20. So it's about like 22 blocks. So 1, 2, and then 1. That's going to be my point. And everything here is going to be what I'm going to be rotating. So there's no real like easing that you can put because it's just going to be flying. And so forever how long you want it, let's say I want it, it's going to be a 5-second long part that I need this effect for, or 7 seconds. All you had to do was just put whatever times rotate, not 70, that's way too much. So let's say 9. 9 times rotate, and you gotta put everything on one group if you want it to be moving, so you don't have to place more of these down. Yeah. So that's how to create that kind of general effect. Now, if you want it to be a little bit larger, but you don't want to add, and if you don't want to add another set, because this is only 600 objects, you can just make it a little bit larger. And if you're going to put it at the beginning of your level, then, and if you want it to be moving straight away, just like how it is in my level, just put the moving position right at the very beginning, and then create a copy, remove that, and then put it at 0 so it's instant, then move it back about 60 blocks so it instantly just gets pushed back. So yeah, it just shoves this back, and then this will just make it to where it moves instantly. So it's as if you're going to be right here, but without actually having them go too far. And see, like, that's how you do that. Now if you want to, you can also do this. Let's see, you could put up an alpha trigger, and let's say, alright, and let's say you want it to be a little bit lighter, but with more particles. You can make it lighter, and then all you have to do is just grab this, move it about 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then put it on 4. So see, like, you'll have 2 of them, which if you realize it's too laggy, or if you don't want it, you can just easily delete one. But see, that's how you can create more of those. But let's say you want 2 of them, you want even more particles. Like in my level, I put one on the ceiling and at the bottom. Just select everything that you've done for one of them, copy and paste it. You can move it onto another group to make it a little bit easier. And instead of going back and changing all the groups and everything, you can just press build helper, and all the groups are automatically changed just like that. And then you can move this down. But let's say you're moving it down and oh, now everything's just getting crushed right there. Well, you can fix that by just getting to the trigger that instantly moves it back, and then just move it down about, let's say, 12 blocks. That seems alright. And also be sure that... What? Alright, so be aware that whenever you're... So if it's going to be moving on top, if it's going to be a positive number that you're rotating, it will rotate clockwise. So if you want it to be, if you're going to be putting it on the floor, it's going to be rotating clockwise, which will be blowing with the player. If you want it to be blowing against the player, all you have to do is put it counterclockwise, so it can go the opposite way. Okay, that's a little bit too... That's not low enough. So let me put it right here. So kind of like that. If it's spinning too fast for your likings, you can just grab them. Let's put it at -6. We could try that. Yeah, see, that's spinning a bit slower. And also it depends on how fast you're going. Like if you want the effect of it going, what's it called? Just much faster, then obviously it's gonna be set on a faster, what's it called, speed. But if you just want it to be slower, then you could slow this down, but probably if you wanted to make it look a little more calmer, just add less particles. Because the more particles, the more chaotic it's gonna be. And yeah, just like that, you can make the simple effect as if something's blowing. And also, if you want to change the colors, like I know my friend wants to make his to where it looks like rain. All you have to do is just put on blending. And if blending's a bit too bright, then you can go to that blending and make it a little bit darker, like that. Or you can just put an alpha trigger and make it to where it's just bright or a little less dull, or a little more dull. But if you do make it a little bit, if you do put it on blending, make sure the background is dark so you're able to see a little bit better, like that. And then you can add more effects, more glow, brightness, just to your liking. And that's it. Thank you for sitting through this unedited tutorial that I just pulled out randomly in about like 2 seconds because I didn't know what I was doing. Oh, and also the pivot point of the turn, you can just make that invisible so you don't have to worry about it being on screen. Just like that, you now have your rain effect.